I've always somewhat believed in the paranormal, but I wasn't a huge believer like the rest of my family. Until this particular weekend, that is. My family had booked a ski lodge trip for some reason, even though we live in New York, so we see plenty of snow. I was against the trip from the start because I wanted to go somewhere tropical and humid, but I digress. The ski lodge was in Colorado, so it did require travel at least. I was happy to be getting out of the busyness of New York City. We loaded up on a Wednesday and headed to the airport. The ski lodge was gorgeous, I had to admit, and I wasn't meaning to sound ungrateful. My parents worked hard to provide us with experiences like this. I was 17, so this would be one of the last family vacations we would take, at least while I lived under their roof. So I promised my mom we'd make the most of it. She had us signed up for mother-daughter massages, some hot cocoa making workshop, and beginner ski courses. She was an avid skier, but she was going to take beginner courses with me so I didn't feel alone. But let's get into the weekend. The first evening and night were uneventful. We went to dinner and had a good night's sleep. We woke up the next morning, and after breakfast we headed to the slopes. Turns out I'm not great at skiing, so after a full day of tumbling in the snow and avoiding trees, I headed up to take a hot shower and get ready for dinner, while everyone else skied a few rounds without worrying about slowing down for me. I was halfway through my shower when the water turned off. I mean completely off. I turned around and the handle was at the off position. It was weird, but I turned it back on. I figured maybe somehow there was an internal timer to conserve water or something. It was a fancy resort after all. As I was doing my makeup, out of the corner of my eye, I saw the roll of toilet paper start to unwind. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm not kidding. It was slowly unrolling as if a dog or small child was unrolling it. As I said before, my family were big believers in the paranormal, so I didn't feel weird telling my mom what I experienced. After dinner, we were all exhausted. Mom and Dad went to use the hot tub, while I climbed into bed and figured I'd scroll social media and maybe catch up with my friends back home. As I was laying there, drifting off to sleep, the alarm clock on the nightstand started blaring a talk radio station so loudly that I let out a scream because in my half-asleep state, I first thought someone was in the room screaming at me. Once I came to a little more and realized it was the alarm clock, I became more confused, because the alarm clock didn't even have an old-school radio. It was a docking station that played whatever you put on your phone and set in it, if that makes sense. Grabbing my phone, I realized Spotify was open on my screen, and it was playing a political podcast talk station. I was so confused. I was only 17, and I only ever used Spotify to listen to music. Definitely never political talk shows. Of course, I had immediately turned it off and made sure the docking station was off. But I sat on the edge of the bed for nearly 20 minutes just trying to justify what had happened. I thought maybe I rolled over and turned Spotify on, but that didn't make sense. My phone used face recognition. I've never been able to accidentally open it. It has to see my face to unlock it. Mom and Dad returned from their trip to the hot tub about half an hour later. I was finally able to drift off to sleep, knowing at least they were in the room with me. I was really beginning to believe my mom when she said it sounded like something paranormal was trying to get my attention. I don't know why it chose me, probably because I was the most skeptical of the family. But for whatever reason, I was quickly wishing it would pick on someone else. The following night, I was finally in a deep sleep, when I was woken by my blanket being slowly pulled down. I screamed so loudly, my mom instantly woke up. I begged to change rooms because we still had 3 more nights and 4 more days, and I couldn't take any more. When we went down the following morning to see if we even could switch rooms, the lady at the front desk nodded sympathetically and said, I'm surprised you lasted this long. To which Mom asked, "What do you mean?" She started telling us the story behind that room. She said the room was known for running people out and brought up a blog post for us to read written by a paranormal investigator who had come to stay and investigate. From what they gathered in the 2 days they were there, it was the spirit of someone who had passed away in a skiing accident many years ago, before any of the current owners had even been born. Apparently he isn't an angry spirit. He actually likes to prank people. Since that weekend, I've always been more open to the spirit world. After all, who are we to say it doesn't exist? Okay, I think out of any paranormal occurrence that could happen, blankets being moved off of me in the middle of the night would be the one I could not handle. That would probably send me straight to the psychiatric hospital. Thank you to tonight's listener for sharing her story. If you want yours told in an upcoming video, email it to the address in the description below. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It means so much to me. Seriously, it does. I'm not just saying it because I typed it down to read off of my screen. I'm saying it because it's the absolute truth. I appreciate every single one of you. And with that, see you tomorrow, friends.